Lights, camera, action. Welcome to the Scrapbook Podcast, Director's Cut. And welcome back to the Scrapbook Podcast, Director's Cut. This is Jody Pratt with my fellow guest and
Sunflower.
host. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Awesome. So I need for you to name this because I have no name for this at all. Right? But you were here for the creation. Me and you created Summer in Codville. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this is in that same universe, literally. So we have two friends. Maybe this is so Summer in Codville was what, 70s, 90s, 80s?
Somewhere along there. Yeah.
So this is in the future. So this is but maybe actually it was in 2000 something.
I just remember it being a little more outdated.
Yeah. Regardless.
Yeah.
So, as you guys know, the Scrapbook Podcast Director's Cut is our stories that Patrick and I come up with that we've kind of worked out a little bit more and we present to each other. For the last maybe 5 or 6 has been Sunflower, and I appreciate you, Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, so this story takes place in, maybe now, like 2020 or so, 2019. And maybe around, regardless. So we have two friends. Larry and Michael, right? Mm-hmm. They're about the same age. We'll say 26, right?
Okay.
Michael is part of the Papa Demetrio family. And Papa Demetrio, if you guys listen, it should sound familiar to you because that was the main mob family. Families. Main mob family in A Summer in Codville. They're the Greek mob family. And Larry is a O'Shea, right? Larry O'Shea, Michael, Papa Demetrio. Okay, so they haven't seen each other in maybe 6 years or so. Michael has come back. No, Larry has come back around, and Michael has been in and out of what state should this be in?
What's next to Codville? Codville was what?
New Jersey.
Yeah. So let's say
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not New York, but yeah.
Yeah, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Okay, so they haven't seen each other in a while. Michael actually went to college. Larry, he was doing some shit. And you know what I mean? He wasn't a book smart nigga growing up. He was street smart. Michael was extremely book smart. And they grew up together, and they're not supposed to be because Irish and Greek mobs were warring at the time. Mm-hmm. The same as, Irish and Italian and stuff like that. It was a real push for real estate,
Yeah.
And so they meet up with each other, and they say, actually, they have a phone correspondence, and they're like, we should have a camping trip like we used to back in the day when we ran away from our parents and shit like that and kicked it together. And Michael's like, yeah, for sure. Just come by my place and pick me up. He was like, are you sure? It's good. Don't worry about that shit. You know what I mean? That's old shit. We're growing up now. Yeah. We can tell our parents that we want to hang out together and they can't do shit about it.
Fuck off.
Exactly. So Larry's like, all right, bet. And Larry's this big, brooding motherfucker. The muscle-headed kind of guy. And it's interesting that they find each other in all this shit and they grow up. They, like I said, they haven't seen each other in about 7 years or so. Mm-hmm. So, I would say, like I was saying, describing Larry's maybe 6'2". He's a big, big motherfucker, bro. Maybe 280, muscle-bound motherfucker. And Michael is, I want to say 5'7", maybe 120, 130. Wow. Mm-hmm. Big, real skinny nigga, tiny guy. So he's packing. Michael's packing up shit, and his two brothers are there, cleaning something. Right. So knock on the door, and it's Larry. He's like, "Oh, Larry, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they're joking and shit like that.
Yeah.
trying to like, fake wrestle each other, and they embrace each other with a just this deep, deep hug. And you can see into the kitchen, and you see Michael's two brothers, and they're cleaning this big ass, powerful rifle, right? And from the kitchen, Michael's brothers yells like, "Hey, faggots!" Like, cut the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Oh, talking shit," and they abruptly stop and shit like that. And then Michael goes and is like, "Hey, you guys know Larry? Larry, this is my two brothers. Fucking dick and balls." And they're just like, "Hey, keep talking that shit, motherfucker." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Larry laughs, and then dick and balls are just like, "What the fuck you laughing at, homo?" And he's like,
okay.
yeah, exactly. Like,
right.
I can tell you niggas don't like me, bro.
Gotta read the room.
Yeah,
okay.
but no shade, I get it, bro. So they're like, "All right, we're out of here. Tell mom and dad, you know what I mean, I'll be back later. This should be, either tomorrow or the next day." And they're just like, "All right," you know what I mean? Remember to use lube. And then they're fucking just like, oh my God. So throughout the whole shit, it's deep, like, not deep, but just sprinkled lightly over the top, just homoeroticism. Just because when you are friends with another man and you're extremely affectionate towards to other people, that reads as homosexual, homoerotic, shit like that. But their conversations are just sprinkled lightly, not too much, but I wanted that to be like an overcast over everything. Like they had something together that they didn't express.
Right.
But it was truly disciplined friendship. They were each other's person.
Platonic.
Yeah, extremely platonic. You know what I mean? And they can't help. You can't help who you want to be friends with.
Right.
Honestly and truly,
there's something that draws people to each other, and that goes for every type of relationship.
All right, so the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, the definition of a friendship, as understood here, is a distinctively personal relationship that is grounded in a concern on the part of each friend for the welfare of the other, for the other's sake, and involves some degree of intimacy. Right. So they drive up there. They're going to let's say, where the trees change color, Vermont.
Okay.
Like deep in Vermont, or maybe even they go to New York.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck. They're going to, the deep wilderness and shit.
Yeah.
And it's where they always used to go. And they're having conversation and shit, joking back and forth, really catching up because they haven't seen each other, like I said, in like 6-7 years, since they were like 19. And so they're talking, and it kind of gets, they kind of argue back and forth. They have a little disagreement about something. It was cool. Michael falls asleep. And he wakes up about almost sunset, but they got to the place they need to be. He's like, so he wakes up and the car's parked, and Larry's already set up camp and shit. And he's like, "Oh, how long have I been out?" He was like, "Oh, for a while. Don't even worry about it. I got everything set up." He was like, "Oh, you know what I mean? I can always count on you, bro." And he's like, yeah. And so they get really into like family talk, and it goes back and forth and shit, and expectations and shit, and how they feel inadequate to their father's degree of expectancy, and how they don't feel like a real man and shit like that because of the level that they need to be on and shit like that. And it goes to Larry, and he's just like, yeah, my dad, it's kind of crazy because I saw us being friends forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my dad has like a real fucking problem. And as you know, my dad's the head of, he looks after all the books and shit like that. He looks after not the books, but he's like the head of all the muscle and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and he's reluctant to give me a piece. And Michael's like, what the fuck? Why not? He was like, I don't know. He said he can't trust me because of us, you know, our friendship. And you know what I mean? That little bit of, you don't know. What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about us? But he's like, because of us, you know? And he said he can't trust me and shit. And he wants me to prove that I can be trusted and shit. He's like, so what do you have to do? And he's just like, what, bro? Just, you know what I mean? Tell me, bro. You know you can tell me anything. And he pulls like a Ruger out of his fucking like pants pocket. He's like, he wants me to kill you.
Damn.
He knows that you're like the third guy's in charge. Is like, son. And he said, you know what I mean? He wants me to kill you and shit. And Michael's just like, just cold. You got to think, he's been in this shit too. He's been in a mob family as well. And his face is unbreaking. And it kind of gives him a stare, and he's just like, changes subject. He's like, did you kiss Stacy Delali? Like, did you kiss her that night we went to prom? Although she was my date. And it breaks Larry of his whole intensity. And he's like, who told you that? He's just like, you didn't think I'd find out, bro? And they're just busting up laughing and shit.
Yeah.
Right? And right about now, the sun has set. And light is fleeting. Right? And they're going back and forth. And Michael is kind of like, not pleading, but going along the lines of like, I'm not going to cooperate with this narrative that we're sharing.
Right.
You're going to what? Like, you're going to bring it up like it's, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And as the light's fleeting, he's just like, Larry looks around, and Larry's like, it's getting pretty dark, you know what I mean? It tosses him a flashlight. Then Larry carries a flashlight. He was like, fuck, my dad, you know. There's a marker over here. And he looks like and Michael didn't notice this before. This is this big ass pile of dirt, like maybe 40 feet away, tucked behind two trees. And he's like, oh shit, that's my fucking grave, bro. And Michael just like, God damn. You know what, man? My dad said the same shit about you. And I refused him.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell you this over the phone, but they're at the end of the year and shit like that. I got to get the fuck out of the town.
Yeah.
I'm not welcome here anymore. And Larry's like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. He's like, why didn't you? He's like, you had every opportunity. He was like, they told me to do it when I was younger and shit like that, and I've been biding my time. And then recently, I told them that you were coming up, and they wanted to kill you, bro. And I said, if they do that, I'm going to. You know what I mean? I'm going to kill you. How about that? In return, I'll never forgive you, and I'll fucking leave. So, let's say Michael's just like saying all this shit, and Larry's just like, damn. I mean, I have to. This is all I know. You went to school, bro. You have your degree. Like, I don't have much to me, bro. You know that. Growing up, like, bro, you had to help me cheat to get the fuck out of high school. And I barely got that. And I don't even, last book I read was, and then they said the book at the same time. Because that's, you know what I mean? Because that's the last book literally they read out of high school and shit like that. Or over the phone or some shit like that. And Michael's just like, there's nothing we could, he's just like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like a couple more memories come up and shit like that. And then he stands up. Larry stands up. He's like, and turns on the flashlight. And now it's about pitch black. And then he like, points the gun in their direction. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And he's like, Larry, come on, dude. He's like, that's where they told me to put you as proof. Otherwise, if I just leave and come back and shit like that, and they might think, a bear dragged you away.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Or think that I'm lying or something like that. He's like, dude, you have a phone? I could fake it? He's like, no, that's why they have the grave marker there. They want your body in there so they can come and check it. They're going to send pieces to your parents and shit. That's proof. They want proof. So Michael stands up and he's just like, can I get another fucking, you know what I mean? Another hug, nigga? Like, he's like, nah, that's over now. And you feel the tension in the air, and I wanted to be just dry, no music.
Yeah. Just
stale air that they're in.
No sound.
Yeah. And you
Crickets.
Exactly. And you see Michael just like crying. Like, not crying, but like tears in his eye and shit like that. Because so far, he's been a stoic nigga.
Yeah.
So he's standing there and he's just like, fuck. At least can I have a handshake? And then Larry shakes his hand. And they share a couple more stories. Or he says like a gauge up or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Makes Larry laugh. And then Larry points him in the fucking direction. Again, just a reminder. Go ahead, bro. And Michael turns around. And as he like turns around, then he starts to let it sink in. Like, oh, fuck. I'm going to fucking die here.
Mm-hmm.
So he's bawling and shit like that. And he's walking slowly. And before they could leave the light of the fire that they've been set, because obviously they're at their campsite now and they're talking and shit. And then you hear, PAH! And Larry's head is completely removed from his shoulder. And Michael just like, about fucking time! And he gets a phone call on his phone that Larry has taken.
Yeah. That
he didn't even notice Larry took.
Yeah.
It was in the car. And he was just going to bury him and dip.
Yeah.
Right? That was and it was his brothers. And he's like, yo, what the fuck took you guys so long? This motherfucker was going to kill me. He's like, oh, we already knew, you know what I'm saying? That we had to drop on the whole situation, shit like that. Like you said, Dad wanted you to get this motherfucker out of here. You agreed to it. This is how it had to happen. You know what I mean? He's like, fuck. And then it goes to their point of view, and they're like in the scope of their campsite. So they're just like maybe 300, 400 yards away with that same rifle that they were cleaning in the kitchen. I was going
to say, man, that's good foreshadow.
Yeah, same rifle in the kitchen that they were cleaning off and shit like that. And he was just like, all right, dump it in the fucking, there's, in the fucking, can I get it out? Goddamn. In the hole, they had kerosene, and then they had a lighter and shit. So let's go ahead and drag his body in there. He's like, you guys are going to fucking help? He was like, your boyfriend, your problems. And he hung up the phone and shit like that. So I wanted to end with him dragging the body in there.
Yeah.
And the camera kind of like panning away, or if it's written down in the book, obviously, he's going to be dragging his body and the kerosene in there, and dump the kerosene on him, and then drive Larry's car over, like, and keep it in drive and just push it into the ditch and into the hole with him.
Yeah.
Set the whole bitch on fire. Yeah. And then his brothers drove around and would pick him up. But if it was like a movie or some shit like that, or a short film, I wanted to end with him dragging his body You know what I mean?
Right.
Put it into it and then end it like that. How you like that?
Man, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Especially from a distance, and it was the brothers. That's good foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Solid ass foreshadowing.
I wasn't expecting it. Like, I thought it was going to be some... the way that you were describing it at first, I was like, oh man, it's going to be like a love story. Like a fucking Romeo and Juliet. So I had Shakespeare in my head.
I got another...
I got
a deep ass Romeo and Juliet that I came up with, like maybe 4 lines I sent to Patrick earlier today. About, I'll tell... It's going to be another Dirk skit for sure. Either you or him going to hear it, but yeah, I have a deep, like, gay one. It's going to be pretty awesome. Cool. But how do you like that?
Hey.
What would you name it?
Oh, man. You done throw me for a loop, and now it's completely out of my head.
That's how you get it, baby.
There's a lot of betrayal in this. Oh man. Shakespeare had the guy that backstabbed Brutus? No. Who's the fucking guy in Shakespeare?
Baby, you know more.
Lord. Oh man. Midsummer Night's Dream?
Macbeth?
No. Macbeth. Who is the fucking dude in Macbeth? No, it starts with a P. Polonius? No. That sounds kind of right, but kind of wrong. Damn. Okay, we're going to scratch that because I don't fucking know his name. Mm-hmm. Betrayal. Betrayal in Rhode Island.
A summer in Codville. Come on, buddy.
You always want me to keep it simple. And then I sit here and I'm thinking about it. Fuck.
Just the Boys?
Yeah. Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Out of 1 out of 10, what would you give this?
7.
7?
Yeah.
Damn this bitch. Okay, cool.
I mean, that's not bad.
That get better. Last one you gave me, Kristen Smile, was a 6.5 out of 10.
We did 2 stories that day, and that was one of them that was a 6.5. At least you're not dipping below a 5.
Yeah, that's true. I'm working to get that 10. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta start reading the dictionary or something because these titles I can't. I'm over here trying to be real.
Boys.
You said Just the Boys.
Just the Boys, yeah.
So I didn't think of that. Wasn't me this time. I'll come back later.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
I try to think of big things. Like I try to make it hella interesting, But I don't think simple.
Whoa. Come on, cabrona.
Well, because I want a good title. If I'm making the title, I'm gonna sit here and think of the fucking top of the tippy top of words, and I don't know many words.
You do. You know a lot of words. Boom. That was Just the Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot. Remind me again because when I edit this shit. That was Just the Boys. Hope you guys liked it. Something quick, something spicy. This is Jody Pratt, one of my fellow hosts.
Sunflower.
And this is Director's Cut. We love you. Don't stop being creative. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody that's listening. Thank you, all the new people. Thank you for the crazy spike that we had. Brussels stand-up. No Sprechens in Deutsch, but Sprechens in English, baby. Let's go. We love you. Don't stop being creative. Peace.